Where's my video? Hey y'all, I have a video up here somewhere, but I don't know where it is. It says I'm live, but I don't see my video screen. Does anybody know what happened? Oh my god, hold on. There I am. Hey everyone. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Alright, great. What is this? I don't have a... Oh well. Good afternoon everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of Gaia Soars Live. We're gonna take a moment to sing though, because I'm excited. Unstoppable love, I am that I am, that I am yours. Unfadable light, I am that I am, that I am joy. Unstoppable joy, I am that I am, that I am, that I am. Unstoppable joy. You know what? I figured we would start with something cheerful, guys, because we're about to talk about some really heavy stuff. We're going to talk about some really heavy stuff. Hi, Elena. And I just want to thank you for joining me today on Gaia Soars, where we will be talking about sexual trauma, guys. And look at me saying sexual trauma with a smile. Not cute. Sexual trauma is not cute. Okay, so I wanted to start light, and then we're going to dive deep into, sorry, my nose ring is like acting all crazy. We're going to dive deep into what is sexual trauma? What does it do to you? Why is it so hard to get rid of? Why do you keep attracting it? Why the fuck did it happen in the first place? Like all of these questions, right? Like, why was I abused? Why was that even part of my genetic signature? Or why did I attract that? If you're in law of attraction, like, why did I attract that into my experience? Or if you're trying to figure out, like, from your galactic standpoint for ascension triggers, why would I add this level of trauma into my life? Okay, so that's what we're going to tackle today. So guys, Gaia Soars, you know, we're always practical application. My name is Kimrah Minuty. Please put any questions that you might have into the comments today. I'm really going to actually take the time and look at them and see what questions you guys might have. Okay, so first off, I want to go ahead and set the intention in here. We're going to call in my archangels. Hey, archangels. Hey, archangels. We're going to call in Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael. I love Archangel Michael. He's always with me. And then we're going to call in Archangel Zadkiel. Archangel Zadkiel. Why? Because I want you guys to feel protected. And I want you to feel cleansed and purified and uplifted. And the combination of the violet flame and the blue flame are both highly transformative and protective and uplifting to help you deal with this sort of dense, heavy trauma, okay? Because this is an extremely heavy topic, okay? So one of the reasons that I wanted to bring it up was because a lot of times I find that people will say to me, yeah, Archangel Michael is hot, Elena. Stop it. Yeah, but so a lot of times people will say to me, oh, well, I'll be like, hey, I feel that you have sexual abuse or trauma. And they're like, well, not really. You know, some guy just raped me once when I was young, but it wasn't really rape because, like, I just should have known better. I was really stupid. And I have to stop people right there. No. If you did not want something to happen in a sexual manner, if you did not ask someone to do something sexually to you, or if you were too young to know, or if you were too weak, because sometimes you're too weak to say no, then that's rape. That's rape. The end. Anything, it's rape. Like, if you didn't want it to happen, that wasn't your intention, and even if you went in asking for it, but halfway through it got really weird, and people weren't respecting the way you wanted to be felt or touched, you have the right to stop in the middle. I need you to understand that. You have the right to stop in the middle, even if you originally wanted it, okay? So I just wanted to bring up some of these concepts, because a lot of times the reason people don't get an opportunity to heal from these things is because they feel like they played a part in their own fuckery. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, I invited that on myself, so therefore it's okay that that individual did something that was fucked up. No. It doesn't work like that. Okay? So I want to take a moment. Let's just do some like deep inner child healing, just like deep heart healing, just deep releasing type of stuff. I just want to take a moment, like, go ahead, place your hands right here over your heart. Take a deep breath. And as you're breathing, just sink into your body, guys. Just take a deep breath. Become more one with your body. Sink into it. Feel your skin. Feel your bones. Feel your spine. Feel your hip bones. Rock on your chair. Get into those hip bones, because we're going to be talking about your sacral chakra. So we're going to be dealing with that. So now that your hand's on your hearts, right? And you're wiggling your sick bones. Now I want you to go ahead and place your one hand over your crotch area. Okay? And I also, guys, I didn't even mention this. Men and female, masculine and feminine, have both been traumatized sexually, and very badly also, I should add. Okay, so I'll get back to that in a moment. So let me just do this part first. Okay, so we got a hand on the heart, we got a hand on the crotch. Okay. Okay. I love my body. My body loves me. The things that were done to my body are not actually done to me. This body is an avatar. I can control how my body feels about the things that have happened to me. I can work with my body, and I can communicate with it to release the things that don't work for us anymore. My body doesn't hate me. My body wants to help me. My body doesn't hate me. My body wants to support me. My body doesn't hate me. My body just got so confused so long ago when I was so hurt that I don't know what it's saying to me anymore, because I've disconnected from my body. It is safe to be in my body right now. It's safe to be in my body back then. It's safe to be in my body going forward. No one can take the safety I feel in my body once I regain my sovereign self. I release the hurt, the pain, the guilt, the shame. I release the inability to speak about what was done to me. I release the fact that it's my fault, it's not my fault. I release the fact that it was generational trauma, that's not my fault either. I embrace my ability to clear, cleanse, and transmute this timeline. And I am thankful for this opportunity right now to step into a new, clean, and clear, abundant timeline where nobody touches anybody when they don't want it to, where everybody respects each other, where we are all one, and so you would never think of doing something stupid like this to anybody, and if you did, it would hurt you too. We are thankful. We are thankful for the things that hurt us so that we know what not to accept. We are thankful for the things that broke us because they allowed room for us to be so much greater. We are thankful for the trials and tribulations because without them, we would not be resilient. And please remember, you are a divine being of love and joy and expansion and growth and never-ending desire and never-ending sexual desire. Sexual desire is a creative desire. Sexual desire is pure love and joy. Sexual desire is something that I am empowered to own, worthy to receive, and desire. You are allowed to be sexual and beautiful and free in your masculine or feminine body, and no one has the right to touch you unless you ask for it. And we are now breeding that into the timeline. And so because that's what we want, that's what it is. And that's what we are willing through this Lionsgate portal. So today, I want you to receive that. Receive your strength. Receive your sovereignty. Receive your love. Receive your divine parents who so desperately want you to heal and thrive and grow and step into the glory and the blessing that is your life. Guys, you are so loved. You are so loved. Okay? So motivate. Yes. So we're going to clear and cleanse. Clear and cleanse. Clear and cleanse. Guys, if you're crying, please get your tissues. I need you to cry this out. I need you to cry this out because sexual trauma fucks up your whole life. Period. The end. Okay? So why? Why does it fuck up your whole life? Because it deals with your 3 lower chakras. Okay? So the bottom chakra is your root chakra, red color. Sacral chakra, orange. Yellow chakra, solar plexus chakra is yellow. Okay? Now, those are the 3 chakras that that work in the physical plane, in the 3D plane right now, right? So when you work in those chakras, or if you have disruptions in those chakras, it affects your money, it affects your joy, it affects your creativity, it affects your ability to feel safe, it affects your ability to feel worthy, it affects your ability to feel deserved, loved, all of that stuff. So like if you don't have those 3 chakras, together, it's very difficult for you to be doing this upper level spirituality type stuff, right? And if you are doing it, you might have to do some sort of like spiritual bypassing, like maybe you're taking ayahuasca, maybe you're doing some mushrooms, maybe you're microdosing, maybe you're doing a lot of marijuana. Like, it doesn't really matter. And I'm not saying that to judge you. I'm just letting you know that there are signs and symptoms that show themselves to you about your fucked up problems related to people doing fucked up things to you, okay? And how can I speak on this? Hi, Kimrah Minuty, raped multiple times. Hi, Kimrah Minuty. Thought it was my fault, never called the police. Okay? So, I can honestly say that I fell victim to that culture of, I don't want to be a snitch, I don't trust the cops, and I never told anybody. I went to therapy for years, and I'd be like, yeah, I have sexual trauma, but it's all right. It's not a big deal. I'm over it. Lies. And in my real life, my relationships and my money and my jobs were falling apart because I was not tackling my sexual trauma. I had completely I was like, fuck it. I'm good. I'm making it forward. I'm moving it forward. I was just using my masculine, my divine masculine to just drag me forward and ignoring all the pain and sorrow and trauma that had been, embedded in my fucking crotch. Okay? And so some things that you don't even think about will relate to this sort of thing. So, for instance, you can have all sorts of diseases. And I'm not talking about your venereal diseases. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like endometriosis. I'm talking about PCOS. I'm talking about fibroids. I'm talking about just crappy periods. I'm talking about not having a period. I'm talking about becoming infertile. All of these things are related to the emotional disease process of your body screaming about trapped trauma, okay? Originally, this live was going to be on trapped trauma in the body, but this week, so many things about sexual trauma got dredged up with the Lionsgate that I said, you know what, fuck it, let's just talk about sexual trauma. So, we can actually piggyback the two because often when you have sexual trauma, you will have trapped energy and emotions all in your body, like all over your body. So someone had mentioned online somewhere, and if you know who it is or if you mentioned it, please message me, but someone was talking about spirituality in the fascia. And releasing trapped trauma and emotions in the fascia. Okay, the fascia is like the connective liquidy tissue that it's like not really your skin or the tendons or the bones. It's like this in-between sort of area. Well, you hold and store memory in the liquids in your body. Okay, so remember your body's like 70-80% water. Well, you're holding all the fucked up things that happen to you in that water. And if you don't do anything to release it, you're going to be jacked up. And sometimes even the things that you're doing to release it, if you're just not aware of the depth and gravity of what you're dealing with, you will not necessarily release it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm not explaining that correctly. So let me just give you an example. For me specifically, I had a lot of trap trauma in my chest. So I'm going to go ahead and like angle this down here, right? Like, so I had a lot of trap trauma in my chest from so many people in my life have died, guys. Like, it's ridiculous. I'm 38. I've been to over 50 funerals in my life. Okay. And so, in my heart, there's a lot of dead people that I wasn't allowed to grieve for, that I just had to just be like, and shut it down. So when I was going through the major heart activations last week, when I had to leave my home, I was inundated with chest pains, and I had something called costochondritis, which is a sprained rib. How the fuck do you get a sprained rib? I don't even do anything that strenuous, guys, to get a sprained rib, okay? So obviously it was an emotional reaction to the amount of trauma that I was releasing in my body. So I looked it up in one of my thousands of books that I look up for stuff like that, and I was like, hey, oh, this is like trap trauma in the rib cage, feeling stabbed in the back, not feeling that I'm allowed to express my own emotions. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So then I started doing the body work, okay? And I started like pressing on my body, and I'd be like, okay, this is my sternum. This feels kind of sore. This feels kind of tender. Left side is your mother, right side is your father, or, you know, masculine and feminine. And I was like, oh, I feel a knot on the masculine side. What is that? So I went and started like digging at the knot and like trying to massage it out, right? And I was like, oh. And when I did that, a memory came. And it was a memory of something that like my boyfriend had done like 10 years ago, and it had really hurt me. And it was still there. It was still there in the skin, underneath the skin, as like a little ball of, I don't know, lactic acid or stored, I don't know what the hell it is. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what the fuck it is. But I know that it hurt, and that I know that when I pressed it and pushed love at it, it released, and there was way less hurt. So I ended up doing, over the period of like five to 7 days, I had to do my entire rib cage, guys. I had to do my whole rib cage, underneath my breast, hit the apex of my heart, like all the way around my back, like everything. Like I had to go through and really, really, really push through these things that had been hurting me, because that's what keeps you from moving forward. That's what makes your ascension symptoms so bad. So some of you have like crazy physical ascension symptoms where your body is like beating you up and freaking out. It's not that. It's that you have trapped trauma in your physical vessel, and you're not releasing it or addressing it or dealing with it. So when you don't do that, these ascension symptoms are like to your head, you know, like they're just mashing you, and you can't walk, you can't breathe, you feel crazy. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, yo, this is really important. This is really, really important. I said, I need to bring that up. Okay, so now, sexual trauma. Something that I've noticed is that we downplay men who have sexual trauma, or act like men can't have sexual trauma unless it's from like, I don't know. Like, everybody likes to talk about Catholic priests. Like, they're the only ones who do fucked up things. Like, everybody does fucked up things. All right, let's just move on. So they're just the most, you know, well known for when it deals with male sexual trauma. But there is a culture, like there's almost like a rape culture that I'm coming to find out in the Caribbean, that like little boys get raped by girls when they're 7 or 8 years old, and the girls are like 13 and 14, and then nobody pays them any mind, nobody teaches them anything, nobody, you know, acknowledges the fact that someone took from them when they were too young, and then those men grow up and become these like womanizing, cheating on your girl, bad in relationships. And then I was like, huh. So I just want to highlight that. I want to highlight that there are things, hold on, because I'm over here rubbing my forehead, not realizing that there's a message here. You need to be discerning, guys. You gotta look. You gotta think. You gotta connect. What is hurting in my body? It means something. It's a cue to something that wasn't fixed, that is still hurt, that needs more love. Okay? I've been talking about this book, You Can Heal Your Life, by Louise Hayes. It's really old. I only just read it. But because I had such large level trauma, I wasn't ready to do the like smaller level trauma. You know, like I was still dealing with big body trauma because I had to fix the herniated discs in my neck and whatever. Okay? So, and my lower back. So, when you go into these books, the books will tell you like, okay, this is related to that emotion. And then here is the affirmation that you can say to help release the emotion. So during the process of me like pressing and doing stuff, I repeated affirmations for hours. I mean, I'm talking about hours. I was in the bathtub for 3-4 hours, like repeating affirmations, pressing things, crying, affirmation, crying. I mean, I looked a hot mess. But the point is, it's fuck that. Who cares how you look if you clear the trauma? Clear the trauma, okay? Like, you've held on to it long enough, guys. Some of you, this trauma is from birth. Some of you, this trauma is from age 4. Some of you, this trauma is from age 6. Like, and you're like 25 to 35 to 50. How much longer do you want to have this control your life? Because I promise you that sexual trauma is controlling your life. It's affecting your relationships with partners, whether you can get into relationships with partners or whether you can stay in relationships with partners or whether you are dating or not dating. Like all of these things, like it affects your self-worth. It affects your ability to stay gainfully employed. These things show up as depression, anxiety, codependence habits. It can show up as OCD. That's the word. OCD. What else? Most of the time they only talk about how people be sexually promiscuous or sexually frigid based on the level of their trauma. For me, I was definitely sexually promiscuous. Definitely. Because I'm a Scorpio and I love to fuck. So being raped was like, it was so annoying for me because I didn't want to not enjoy having sex, right? I was like, you're not going to take that from me. I like to fuck. What do you mean? But at the same time, it made me make really poor choices on who I slept with. And it made me not understand the importance of not crossing energetic boundaries with people who aren't worth it. Like, so I opened myself up to so many more horrible experiences because I didn't know better. I didn't know that I was taking on people's trauma in my vagina. Lord. So if nobody's ever told you not to go around sleeping with 1,000 people, like, this is why. Not because you need to be a prude, not because you're a whore if you sleep with multiple people. No, none of that. I'm coming at you from a pure energetic standpoint. The reason you don't want to fuck a bunch of people is because you're taking all their trauma into your most sacred area. Like the most sacred area. Okay, females, you are literally birthing galaxies. Your vagina is a galactic gateway. Okay? So when you are opening your beautiful galactic gateway to somebody, they need to be fucking worthy. The end. And I am, the funny part is I'm saying this to you like so strongly right now, but the truth is that I am the fucking #1 person who slept with the shittiest people for the longest. Like, guys, I'm so embarrassed. Like, I'm so embarrassed. I had the worst self-esteem, the worst self-worth, and I slept with the worst people for me. And I fucked myself over so many times. And it took me so long to come back from it, which is why the fuck I'm so old. Only now doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing. And yes, there's always a time for things. Everything comes in the time that it's supposed to. I understand that and I'm okay with it. But I also know logically that if I had not perpetuated more negativity into my aura, I would have done this all sooner. period. Just, that's it. It was just compounded trauma and an unwillingness to face it, and an inability to be strong enough to recognize that horrible things had happened to me. When I finally came to the comprehension of how like how ugly my sexual trauma is, because it's not as ugly as some people's. It's not to say that like I was brutalized or hurt or ripped open. Like some people have that kind of trauma. There's different levels to it. It was just, I just kept getting raped and I just couldn't understand it. And then people would just pass me around like I was like a joint. I mean, I know I'm a damn good joint, but still, like, I'm a person. I'm a person. I'm a divine being. I'm a goddess. I bring beautiful galactic beings through my portal into this planet to affect change. I didn't know anything about myself. I didn't know anything about my beauty, my power, my grace, my goals. I was so lost. I was so lost. I was so sad. I was so hurt. I didn't feel loved. I didn't think anybody cared about me. I thought I was the ugliest and fattest thing for the longest. I didn't understand why people would even look at me. You know, so these are, I hope we might cry a little bit today, guys. So these are the things. These are the hurts. These are the hurts that we don't speak about, guys. These are the freaking hurts that murder us, guys. These are the hurts that keep your money fucked up. These are the hurts that keep you small. These are the hurts that keep you from going out and being that badass spiritual warrior who is really gonna fucking help somebody. Those are the hurts. Those are the hurts. And that's what kept me small. That's what kept me from speaking to people. That's what kept me mean and miserable and argumentative and in pain all the time. These sexual traumas show up as physical pain. They show up as panic attacks, migraines, headaches, back pain, thigh pain, numbness in your fingers. What else? It can be anything. It can be anything, guys. Any little thing. It can be when every time you have sex, it hurts when you have sex, even though the person you're with is someone you want to be with. It can be that your vagina is so tight, the muscles are overly tense because you've been traumatized, because your vagina has been traumatized. The same thing with you, gentlemen. Like if you've been taking all right. My own embarrassment kicked in. Gentlemen, if you're taking it in the anus and you didn't want to, there is now trauma in your anus. Okay? That was weird for me to say, but it's important for us to divest ourselves of the uncomfortable conversations and just speak what the fuck it is. Okay? Like that's something that we definitely like need to do. We need to just say what it is and speak about it in a scientific term and detach society's issues from what the fuck it is. Okay? In the book, You Can Heal Your Life from Louise Hayes, right? She says, your anus is as beautiful as your ear. And you know what? Like, that was such a creepy thought to me. Like, I literally thought of people's anuses on their heads. Like, it was just so real. It's so fucking stupid. It's like, this is how I think about stuff. I'm like, huh, your anus is as beautiful as your ear. And I was like, okay. And she was like, it's because people put values on parts of their bodies and they don't put other values on other parts of their bodies. Like, do you make your eyes dirty because they look at dirty things? No, they're just your fucking eyes. So why is your anus dirty? Because it eliminates toxins, which is what it's supposed to do. Like, if you don't shit, you're literally gonna fill up with shit and become toxic and die. Like, so your anus is your friend. Like, y'all need to be buddies with your shit. Like, come on now. And I'm a person that I look in the toilet every day and look at my shit. My daughter, I do it all the time. I'll be like, look at your shit. What is it doing? It's going to tell you about your health. Okay? So all these so-called taboo subjects, fuck that. Fuck things that are taboo. Let's start talking about the things that have fucked us up. Let's start talking about them. Stop it. Every time you don't say something that hurts you, it has the opportunity to hurt you again. You know why? Because you're leaking hurt. Whatever is hurting you is leaking. And while you're leaking that hurt, you can attract that hurt to you. Remember, this is the law of attraction, right? So you're constantly broadcasting on a frequency. Well, if part of your frequency has some hurt in it, right? Well, then you'll bring the same level of hurt to you. That's how you guys end up in relationships with people who are fucked up. because you're fucked up too. So you didn't heal yourself, so you attracted someone who was broken too. That's what it is. That's why you're supposed to be, that's why this twin flame thing is just heal yourself, then become a twin flame. You don't you're your own twin flame, like, because you got to fix this shit, y'all, or you just hurt somebody else, or you just reflect that shit back to them, or you just broadcast more hurt. Like, quit doing that. Quit it. Quit it. Quit it. Quit it. If you need help, seek therapy. If you can't get rid of the thought, then it's an energy issue. All right, for instance, I have another friend of mine. He's like, I have a thing. I can't get it out of my head. It's been months. You've helped. Oh, Marissa, you came in right when I was talking about anus, right? Perfect. It's okay to giggle. Go ahead and giggle. But here's the thing, like, if something is stuck in your mind and you've tried everything to get it out, then more than likely it's something related to a trapped trauma in your body, or it could be an entity. There's a lot of people out here walking around with sexual entities. Oh my God. Thank you for reminding me. Sexual entities. Another reason why you don't want to be sleeping with people willy fucking nilly. Sexual entities. Because sexual entities are very, very insidious. They're very insidious. They sound just like you. And they make you think you want to go do things with people you don't really want to. But because you've had them in the background of your mind for so long, you don't even know the difference between the sexual trauma voice and your own voice. So you're just going to go and keep reenacting that bullshit ass voice. It took me so long to learn that, guys. It took me so long to learn that. And when I did learn it, I was like, honestly, I was embarrassed. I was appalled. And I was ashamed of my own not knowing, which I know that doesn't make sense, but you know, whatever. This is what fucking happens. Like, this is the truth. I was ashamed of myself for not even being able to recognize that I had this insidious voice in my mind for so long, even though I have done so much fucking shadow work. Like, golly, you would have thought I would have caught this one. Nope. Not until, I want to say maybe like last July did that shit finally come clear. And it was because my husband said something to me. And it triggered me so badly that I was like, oh, what is this? What is this? And I'll just share with you. I mean, it's really kind of personal, but fuck it, who cares? We're talking about anuses and sexual trauma, right? So let's just get more personal. I'm just going to lean in and tell you my business. As I'm leaning in to tell you my business. So my husband said to me sometime last summer, he was like, you're a horrible kisser. As a Scorpio, I take offense. Number one. Number two, I had to question myself. Why am I a horrible kisser? I was like, I like the way my husband kisses me, so why am I bad at it, right? And then the reality came to me that people didn't really kiss me. That it wasn't about, when I had sex, it wasn't about intimacy. That no one had actually ever really loved on me and wanted to kiss me. Or the people that tried to kiss me, it was like so gross. I was just like, yo, you're just like trauma kisses. Like get off my face. You know, so I mean, so that's the stuff, guys. Like, you have to, like, when somebody triggers you and says something to you that you want to be mad at them about, you have to recognize, like, why am I so upset about him telling me that I'm a horrible kisser? And then I was like, oh, no one ever cared enough to kiss me. Sad face. I have such great lips. All right, anyway. So, you know, so these are the things, like, these are the things that's the healing. That's the healing, when you can face the fact that you have been in a pattern of disempowerment for so long that you don't even know what quality connection really is. Like, you don't even know what it means for someone to really care about you. I'm gonna cry. I'm crying because it was just so sad to me. I was like, wow, I've gone 37 years of my life, never had a really decent relationship with anybody who wasn't like a piece of shit to me, to the fact that I don't really know how to kiss. So my husband taught me. And that's why I married him. I really like him. But, like, that's what sexual trauma does to you. It doesn't even allow you to be close to people. It doesn't allow you to be close to yourself. It doesn't allow you to recognize your worthiness. And when you can't recognize your worthiness, then you don't have any worth. And then you play small. And then you love people who don't actually love you in an attempt at connection. And you people please so that you can feel something. And you have aimless sex with people so you can feel something. And you drink so you can feel something. Or you can hide how bad you feel. And, you know, all these different things. All these different things. You know? All these different things. So that's why I'm doing this live. Because I want you to understand that we all have our trials and our tribulations, right? But you can overcome them. And then once you overcome them, you can set the intention for this to not be the rest of your life, right? So we have phase 1 of your life where you go through all the trauma and shit. And then you have transition phase where you start to learn that these things aren't your fault and that you can clean and clear and cleanse and heal and purge them. And then when you get to that, then you can move into the new place where you become stable and you're able to thrive because you've cleared your trauma. And now the universe is working with you, not against you, because you're not broadcasting hurt. Okay? So, that's the real truth of what I've learned about sexual trauma. I've learned that it's not your fault, and it's best to try to deal with it and find someone who is easy to talk to. Find someone who's easy to talk to because it's not a light subject. And find someone who makes you feel safe. And do whatever you need to feel better. Okay? And don't rely on exterior shit. Don't use it as a patch because it's not helping you. It's really not. I drank, I did a lot of drugs, I smoked a lot of weed. Guys, I'm 2 days without smoking weed now, officially. It's my two-day anniversary sans the Mary Jane. And it feels really weird because I have been smoking weed for 20 years dealing with all this trauma and transmuting it and just coping with this fuck-ass density. Like, I gotta be real with you. This 3D density, like, I needed to smoke my way through it till we lightened up the entire planet. Because I'm from 1981, guys. So, like, they only just published the Law of Attraction the year that I was born. And then from there, these things that we now see as commonplace had started to grow. Okay? So, for basically 30 years, I'm out here in this density with no concept of the fact that I'm even an interdimensional multi-galactic being. I'm like, oh, fuck. So, of course, I did what the humans do. Take a bunch of drugs, figured out I was fucked up, get on a bunch of medicines, call a bunch of doctors, ask them why the fuck I can't get better, type of shit like that, you know? And they were like, oh, you'll never be better. You'll be depressed till you die. And I was like, wow, that's an option? That's so great. Dude, of course people are going to be depressed until they're dead if you tell them they have no chance of coming back from it. That's the most depressing thing you could tell anybody. Oh, you've got some disorder and you'll never get better. All right, well, then fucking kill me now. What am I doing? You know, like, why would you strip people of hope like that? Oh, because you don't know that disease is energy related and that you can actually clear all these things and have miraculous results. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, cool. So we're not going to play that game anymore, right? We're not playing that game anymore. This is me, Kimrah Minuty, telling you guys that you could fucking heal yourself. This is me, Kimrah Minuty, coming on here every week to be like, hey, there's shit in your body that is hurting you that you don't need anymore. Drop that shit and run. Let's rise. Let's get good. Let's get happy. Let's get healed. Because if you heal yourself, the whole world gets fucking better. If there were 8 million healed individuals on this planet, we wouldn't even be doing this shit. But they're not. It's a bunch of broken-hearted, hurt babies. Gaia's babies. Broken-hearted, hurt babies running around here trying to figure out why and how they got so fucking hurt. And some of them aren't even trying. Some of them are just out here running around pretending they're not hurt, which is 10 times worse. Okay? So I need you to come out of denial. I need you to come out of denial. I need you to just face your truth. Stop lying to yourself. Weird shit had happened to you. If shit ain't going the way you want it to, some weird shit probably happened to you. I'm just saying. If it's not sexual trauma, it could be emotional trauma. If it's not emotional trauma, it could be financial trauma. If it's not financial trauma, it could be physical trauma. Like, this is Earth. This is a hard-ass school. Most people don't come out here unscathed. Like, come on now. Last week we were talking about toxic environments and how if you have one good parent out of a light worker family, you're fucking blessed. Because I got whole clients who don't even have one decent parent. They just came out here to like crush a whole bloodline. And if nobody tells you that the reason your life is so fucked up is because you're over here crushing and cleaning up a whole bloodline, you may not make it. That's why so many people are so suicidal. That's why I get really stressed about people who are suicidal. That's why I talk to people a lot about it. That's why I talk about mental health all the time. That's why I'm always like, please reach out. And the sad part is that when you're that depressed and when you're that suicidal, you can't actually reach out. And so I've gotten really good at seeing you and your hurt wherever you're hiding. Okay? So I really feel like I just want to pray for everybody again. Like, guys, the reason all of this is coming up this week is because it's really important to release. And the Lionsgate portal is always one of the most transformational portals of the year. We always come up like 3 octaves higher. You go into that portal and come out extra shiny, but you get fucked up in the process, okay? I'm not gonna lie. Last year, I got fucked up in the Lionsgate portal, but I came out with my business, my book, my husband, a health insurance license, like, and some clients. You know what I mean? Like, that's how Lionsgate works. This year for Lionsgate, my God, this year for Lionsgate, my whole life got fucked over. I'm in a hotel. Like, I don't even have a place to live this year for Lionsgate. So I'm like, oh, all right, cool. But I understand the process. So I'm not fucking stressed. Like, I just know that by the end of this, I'll be living somewhere. And it'll be fucking phenomenal. The end. But in the meantime, should I stop doing my lives because I'm embarrassed that I'm not some place where I think other people should be seeing me be? Fuck no. Because y'all still need to hear this. Like, this is fucking important. 9 out of 10 women have been abused, raped, touched, fucking weird. And then the 10th one just had weird ass looks from someone or had to hear inappropriate shit from someone, asshole, right? Then we have boys, we don't even have the right stats on our men. We don't even have the correct stats on the sexual trauma and abuse that our men are dealing with, okay? So we're going into the next 2 years of healing the divine masculine. So in order to be of service to our divine masculine counterparts, females, you got to step into your trauma and you got to love on yourself and you got to be like, hey, it wasn't your fault that you opened the door to the fucking guy who mowed your lawn and you were wearing pum-pum shorts. Just because you were wearing pum-pum shorts doesn't mean he had the right to push you into your house and bend you over and fuck you. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. Okay? So, it's a real heavy topic. I think we need some sage. Let me sage you guys. I need to sage me. Hold on. All right, so talk about sage. We're going to talk about fixing ourselves. Let me get my candle. Luckily, I got my yellow candle that I've been burning here. It's solar plexus, protection, love. Oh, I'm tripping. I don't put my whole candle out, acting crazy. So you guys, I'm going to sage you guys because at this point, here's the truth. As much as you can clear and cleanse, the better it'll be. The more you clear trapped trauma, the less your ascension symptoms are. The more you clear your issues and your pain, the less struggle you have. The easier it becomes to manifest. Right now, we literally have opportunities to instant manifest shit. The reason you can't do it is because there's trauma in your subconscious that is keeping you from doing it. That's the only answer. And it's not your fault. It's not your fault if you didn't know you had the trauma. It's not your fault if you haven't dealt with it. It's not your fault if you're just sitting here stuck and hurt. So we're going to sage you. Release. 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 I am safe in my body. I am safe in my body. I am safe in my body. I'm safe in my body. It's okay to be me. I love my masculine energy. I love my feminine energy. My masculine and feminine energy are balanced and divine and supported by the universe. My divine parents love me and are safeguarding me. My archangels are protecting me and walking me. This is why I always ask you guys, I ask you to please, like, connect with your guides. Connect with your guides, because your guides will steer you out of this bullshit. Like, if I had an iota of the shred of connection that I have with my guides and my source now, none of that shit would have happened. 1000%. None of that shit would have happened. Because now, my guides will even tell me not to pick up a phone call. They'll be like, skip it. I'll be like, okay, serious. You know, so whenever I get some sort of a feeling about something, especially if it's like a weird feeling, if I feel wonky, or if I feel my body like closing up, when something comes up, I'm like, that ain't for me. But if my body just gets happy and it feels relaxed, then I'm like, okay, that's for me. Another thing that you guys can do is you need to meditate with your body and ask your body, hey, if I'm supposed to do something, what does it feel like? And if I'm supposed to not do something, what does that feel like? Like, talk to your fucking body, guys. Like, so if you come from the premise that we are not our physical bodies, we're actually spirit outside, focused into this physical vessel, then you should recognize, hopefully, maybe not, I don't know, you will recognize that you can affect the change from a spiritual perspective, right? So you are not your body. You are your spirit focused in your body. So focus your spirit into something healthy. Focus your spirit into what's going to benefit you. Focus your spirit into telling you the things that you need to know, so that you know what is right and what is wrong, what is good and what is bad, what is yes and what is no for your body, so that when you get that sensation, you don't get confused. Okay? A lot of us will be like, ooh, that resonated, because you get shivers on your body when you get a resonance, right? Like, your body will tell you, oh, our soul remembers this. So then your body will shiver. Okay? So that's one way. For me, I notice that when it's a no, I'll feel pressure. You know, like, I'll feel pressure if it's a no. But if it's a yes, I'll feel like tingling. Like, my whole body will open up and tingle. Like, it's amazing. Elena, you're hilarious. Archangel Michael is definitely sexy. Thankful that, like, in my spiritual life, we are totally married. Like, yes, girl. Loving him. But with that being said, you know, you have to also remember to embrace all of your sexual aspects and versions of yourself. And, like, another thing that a lot of people who have sexual trauma, one thing that a lot of people who have sexual trauma don't do is masturbate. Okay? Why don't you masturbate? Because you feel weird as fuck and you're so used to going to other people to please you. And because your sacral chakra is jacked, so you think you always got to go outside of yourself for pleasure. Well, it's super disempowering to not be able to please yourself. And I will admit, I struggled with that. I struggled with masturbation for a while, and I didn't even realize I was struggling with it because I was so blocked from my own trauma. And I was like, oh. And then, like, my Reiki master was like, yeah, you should masturbate. And I was like, I should do what? Like, for real? Why? I got other people for that. And then she was like, oh, well, I mean, that's disempowering. And I was like, oh, I was like, oh shit, you just called me out. So I had to come to terms with that. So when I went through all my trauma and stuff, like whatever, my therapy and whatever, you know, I went and bought like a cool vibrator and whatever. And the crazy thing about this, guys, you're gonna look at me like I'm such a nitwit, but I used to sell sex toys. Like, totally had a business selling sex toys, like in the early 2000s. Like, it was so fun for me. I could talk about all types of crazy ass sex toys, but I wasn't using them. I was not using them. So that's a barrier that you end up having to break. And so in the process of me unearthing the sexual trauma, figuring out what started it, seeing how it played out, why I was having all these self-worth issues, I was actually able to start healing my endometriosis and PCOS. So you guys don't even know this, but I have endometriosis. My daughter is my only child, not because I haven't tried, but because I'm infertile, or I was. I will be more fertile shortly. I want babies. But my daughter was my only child because I could not have kids. Could not have kids because of all the trauma, generational bloodline, fucking fuckery. Okay? So because of that, I was looking for ways to make my period bearable. I used to have the worst periods. 2 weeks, excruciating pain, only be bleeding for like 5 to 7 days, but it would be the most excruciating pain. I'd be vomiting. I wouldn't be able to walk. I'd be on bed rest. You couldn't even speak to me. I would just disappear. Remember, I would just disappear. I'd be like, ah, fuck that. I'm on my period. And people would be like, hey, I'd be like, don't even look at me. That's my period. Now, I'm 6 months into having like pretty much no cramps on my period, not even have to take ibuprofen. Sometimes I'll take a self-care, but not really. I'm actually exercising when I'm on my period now for the first time in my life. I never exercised on my period before, y'all. Fuck out of here with that. I was just trying to survive. And it all came from talking to my womb, talking to my heart, understanding that I had been hurt, understanding that I didn't know what was going on, understanding that I had dirtied and sullied my galactic portal with these fuck niggas, like all of that. And so as you gain in self-awareness, ladies and gentlemen, guides, goddesses, and groups, as you gain in awareness, you gain in healing, you gain in joy and in love. And so that's always my goal for you. It's always my goal for you to expand, transform, and gain in love. And you can. And I will be able to have my babies because I'm healing my womb. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see my babies. Like, it's gonna be great. So, yeah. So we're 52 minutes and 33 seconds into this live. Does anybody have a question who's actually watching? And if you're on the Indigo Rising page, guys, I'm so sorry because I'm on SLS. I'm on Silver Lining Spirals streaming. So I will check the Indigo Rising comments in a little bit, and I'll get back to you guys. But book a session, guys. If you need some intuitive guidance, you want a tarot card reading, you need some energy healing, work on that sacral chakra. I had to do a lot. Oh my God. I feel like I should call Melissa, my Reiki master, and be like, dude, how often are you dealing with my sacral chakra problems? Like, never endingly, yo. Like, never endingly. She's like, you're always people pleasing. Well, oh, this is important. When I went and did my acupuncture for the first or second time, there was a block in my Rin channel, which is the main channel that goes through here. And it was in my sacral chakra. I forgot to tell you guys that. Super important. So I, like an idiot, not even thinking about it, I'm young, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get my belly button pierced, right? No big deal. My body rejected the piercing twice. But in the process of it rejecting the piercing, scar tissue blocked my Rin channel. That actually caused me to have serious digestive health issues for almost 10 years, and it kept a hole in my fucking sacral chakra, like just a hole. So that shit was always leaking fuckery. So when I finally got all of this Reiki done, and Melissa was helping me, and I learned Reiki myself, and I got cleared and blah, my sacral was always jacked, and I was like, yo, what the fuck? I can never get this sacral under control. All right, come to find out, I do the acupuncture. And she's like, oh, you had a channel blocked. Well, son of a bitch. So at first, you're going to do major clearings, right? So you're going to do the big 7. But then you have to branch out and do the fine tuning, right? So there's the hand chakras, elbows, feet. And then there's the tiny meridians, all the tiny meridians that come through your body that are all energetic lines. So I cleared those lines. And in clearing those lines, gained more clarity, gained more control, gained more grounded ability. I could never ground and shield myself because of these things. I could never ground and shield myself because of these things. So if you have a real problem with grounding and shielding, it may be related to your sexual trauma. I'm gonna just throw it out there, because you have to be able to go through your root chakra and push through that and ground yourself into Gaia, connect to the crystalline grid. If you can't get your root chakra to open up and push through and connect to Gaia, you're never gonna be grounded. And trust me, I was not grounded for the fucking longest. I was about as flighty could be. So I wish we had video of me prior to this, because you would be like, this bitch is not even together. I wasn't. When you're hurt, you're not together. You're flying. You're just at the mercy of any energetic whim. So that's why we need to do this. That's why we need to heal ourselves. That's why we need to focus on this. That's why we don't need to be afraid of the fact that we were fucked over. You're not the only person. Stop fucking yourself over because you don't want to admit that you're part of a mass group of people who got fucked over. 9 out of 10 women have been raped. Just fucking talk about it, guys. 9 out of 10. Oh, you don't even have to really say I've been raped. You got to be like, hey, you know about that Me Too movement? That should be enough for your girls to be like, yeah, me too. And then you can open the doorway like that. The end. So I'm going to leave you guys on that blessing and beautiful note. We're going to end on a prayer, y'all. We're going to end on a prayer. Ooh, a song and a prayer. Song and a prayer. I feel a song and a prayer. This is one of my favorite songs to sing a cappella, and I don't care if you like it. So how about that? 1000%. I don't care if you like it. I'm going to just sing it. Here we go. Our God is an awesome God, He reigns from heaven on earth with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God. And I mean our mother God, okay? It's just they wrote that song in a masculine. But our mother God and our father God are both awesome gods. And they are us, and we are them. And we are here expressing our divinity and our hurt together. So let us join together in love and let this shit go once and for all. So we can like birth a whole new reality where none of this shit even exists. And if you're wondering why all this Save the Children and pedophilia rings and all that shit is coming up, it's because Gaia is fucking pissed. It's because she is fucking pissed. And it's time for all of this shit to be done. And it's been since 1200 and whatever. It's been how many decades and millennia and whatever. And we're done now. We're done with that. We're done with the pedophilia. We're done with you fucking kids. We're done with you touching people all crazy. We're done with you stabbing people. We're done with you being racist. Done, done, done. Done, 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 done. So the turmoil that you see, yeah, Mother God, Jesus' mother. So the turmoil that you're seeing in the world right now, guys, you're like, what's the world coming to? That's not what's going on. This is actual shadow work. This is Gaia's shadow work. This is Gaia going into the depths of the hell that we have all been living in for fucking millennia and being like, no fucking more. I'm awake. I'm alive. We're transitioning and we're not taking this shit no more. So let's talk about the things that hurt us. Let's heal the things that hurt us. Let's reach out to the people that we know are hurt. Let's love on ourselves the most. Please love yourself the most. Love yourself the most. How do you love yourself? By putting good things in your body, by drinking high pH water, by infusing your water with love, by putting on homemade lotions from people who love you, by bathing in soaps that are made by people who love you, by doing things that bring you joy, by laughing, by dancing, by crying, by not being ashamed of anything that you fucking do. by not being afraid of anything that you fucking do, by just doing what the fuck you do, no questions asked, unapologetically. When you do that, man, you're affecting change for real. That's when you're really affecting change, okay? Be unabashedly yourself, because that's who the fuck you were meant to be. And all these other things people told you, that's what hurt you. And that's what let other people hurt you. And we don't want that anymore, okay? The time's done now. So, I love you guys so much. I love you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed weekend. Tomorrow is going to be the hype end of the Lionsgate portal, 8/8, guys. Balls to the wall. Just remember, our energy is going to be at 10 for the rest of the year. No coming down. This shit is not going to get less intense. It's only going to get more intense. Don't get sidetracked by what the fuck is happening in the media or on social media or anywhere else. Focus on healing whatever is wrong in here and connecting with your fucking guides so that they can help you navigate the rest of this shit show. Because it's a shit show, okay? And people are showing their trauma. Oof. You know what I'm talking about. Y'all have been seeing the ego tripping and the vomiting all over the internet and people just flat out shooting each other. The fuck is going on there? Just yesterday I was driving down the road, some guy just cut a corner and almost ran a man off his bicycle. Man's just riding his bike. Can't you ride your bike? No, nobody gives a fuck. You're in such a hurry. You're so in your own egotistical mental trauma fuckery, you're just gonna run some poor guy over on a bike. What is going on? That's what's going on right now, because people who ignore their trauma are out here freaking the fuck out. Ooh, and another important aside. I know we're over an hour, guys, but listen, this is important too. I already said this. Spiritual warfare has spilled into the physical, which means this ascension is no longer just in your mind. If you're not willing to open up your heart, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to end up in a fucking pine box. All right? That shit is actually happening now. People are having fucking heart attacks. If your heart is closed off, if you're not willing to play, if you're not willing to step into your greatness, if you're not willing to heal yourself, you're not going to make it. I don't have no softer way to say it. I don't have nothing else for you. I feel horrible even saying it. I don't even want to say this. Millions of people are going to die. Millions more. You get to choose whether or not you're one of them by working on your shit. So I implore you today to work on your shit so that you can be part of the solution, not a part of the fertilizer. Okay? So let's end this on a beautiful prayer of hope and love. And oh my God, I feel strained. I feel strained. Woo! Okay. I was feeling kind of weighed down. All right. I don't like feeling weighed down. All right. Now let's do a prayer. I just want to thank myself. I want to thank myself and my divinity. I want to honor my spiritual divinity. I want to honor who I truly am. I want to honor the divine being of light and love and vibration and sound and joy that I am. And I just want to embrace that. I want to honor it. I want to enjoy it. I want to receive it. I want to embody it. I want it to take over me and transform me and just flow through my entire body so strongly that there is nothing else but this pure, unadulterated, unconditional love. And while that is happening to me, I ask that it happens to everyone else. And I ask that they open their hearts to receive it. I ask that they open up to the knowledge of their divine selves. I ask that they just reach into their own heart space and go, I am good enough. I am more than good enough. I am worthy. I am that I am. I am joy. I am unstoppable light. I am unfadable light. I am unfadable joy. I'm unstoppable joy. I'm unstoppable love. I am the never-ending wellspring of pure love and abundance and health and wellness and well-being. All I have to do is choose to accept it and receive it. And in this moment, I choose to accept and receive it. I choose to receive it now. I step into my greatness. I step into my divinity. I step into my true nature. And I am love, and so are you. And we are one. So mote it be. And that is it. Y'all, thank you for joining me on another episode of Gaia Soars. I love you all so much. I love you all so much. More hijinks and unicorn adventures in another hotel room, wherever the hell else I'll be. It'll be interesting. And I just hope you all have a wonderful and magical weekend. Stay away from the crazies. If you're in a toxic environment, find a way to leave. If you can't get out, get a fuck ton of sage and start putting down some actual physical barrier stuff like sulfur and sea salt to protect your space. Okay? I love you. Have a wonderful day. This is Kimrah Minuty, and we are out. Have a great weekend.